As we enter into this year 5775, the new year in the Jewish calendar, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to speak with you. This year, the sermons follow the recovery tasks that are in our handbook, One Grain of Sand handbook that was written by, put together by Dr. Charles and Dr. Ronnie Blakeney. And these are the recovery tasks that are fulfilled at Beit Shuvah. The research was done not in giving us a plan, but truly based on what we do. That's the beauty of this research in this handbook. So, this is my 17th year of leading services at Beit Shuvah, and I figure by age 17 I should be able to drive the car alone. Ergo, I have not written the sermon. I have some notes, and we'll see where it goes. Last service, did it go all right?
Yeah.
Went all right? Okay, we'll see if we can do this again. No pressure. I'm sweating already. Our first recovery task is sanctuary. In Hebrew, sanctuary is mikdash. Now keep this word in mind, because I'm going to come back to it at the end. The sanctuary that was built in the desert, the sanctuary of the temple, none of those sanctuaries were built by God. They were all built by us, by our ancestors, by humans. So when we're talking about sanctuary or safety, it's not something that God provides. It's something that we build. In order to build that, I first have to be safe inside myself. Because I can't build what I don't have. And to be safe inside myself causes me to look inside myself. So I'm a bundle of contradictions inside. I know that. At one moment, I'm happy-go-lucky, joyous, free, kidding around. And then all of a sudden, I can snap and become what my wife lovingly refers to as a raging lunatic. She says some other choice words with that. However, I'll just stay with raging lunatic, right? Those are on nice days. When she's loving me, she calls me that. That does not make me unsafe inside, though. It makes me human. So the first thing about sanctuary for me is that I have to be human. I can't be safe when I'm trying to be something other than who I am. That doesn't mean I don't grow. That doesn't mean I don't stop being as raging a lunatic as I used to be. I mean, I'm much better than I was 25 years ago, right? Just to show you how crazy I was. So once I see that I can be safe, because I can be me, then I have to see what kind of home do I build. Is my home truly a sanctuary? I realize that it is. I know that it is. When I know that I can walk into my house and belong there. That no matter what's happened during the day, no matter how many times Harry just thought I might be wrong, no matter how much angst or anything else I've had during that day, when I come home, I know that my wife is there, and she's going to hold my hand, and she's going to tell me that I belong. I belong in my home, and I belong with her. And she's going to also tell me where I've not been right. So sanctuary, again, is not a place with somebody else that just tells you everything's going to be okay, and is not your champion and doesn't say, oh, you're always right. That's not sanctuary. That's fantasy land. That's hiding. Sanctuary is where you have somebody that's going to say, you know what? You're wonderful, and here's how you can get a little bit better. But not saved from hate, not saved from anger, but saved from love, saved from connection, saved from belief. So once we're able to build that kind of a place in our homes, we can go on to the next place. Is where I work a sanctuary? Is it safe? Now, I will admit, most workplaces, it's not safe to be who you are. Because if you show any kind of foible, somebody's going to take advantage of it. When you're vulnerable, they'll drive a Mack truck through it. As a rabbi, I can tell you many of my colleagues have suffered from this. What was the movie was Keeping the Faith? Jews want rabbis to be, their rabbis to be everything they're not. And when we're human, people get very upset. Somebody once told me when I was doing Good News Torah here for a few weeks, they told me it's not dignified. I said, are you putting me and dignified together in the same sentence? Beit Shuv is a sanctuary. This building is a sanctuary. And this building came together with a lot of hard work, a lot of generous donations. And this sanctuary is not a place where everybody's going to agree all the time. Beit Shuv is not a place that everybody's going to agree all the time. Beit Shuv is a place where we're going to make mistakes. We're going to defile this sanctuary, just as our ancestors defiled the temples of old. That's not the problem. The truth is that we've had to paint all the walls a few times already. The residents put their feet up. The band makes scratches over there. Somebody, once we start eating here, is going to spill on this carpet. So you can look at all these things as defiling the space. And that's going to happen. That's not the important piece. The important piece is, how are we going to clean it up? Because to truly have sanctuary, to truly have a place that is safe and sanctuary, you have to know that you're going to screw it up. One of the things we do about every 8 weeks with the residents, it's an amazing thing to do in your families, actually. Think about this. We do it about every 8 weeks, 10 weeks, something like that. We run this thing called amnesty, where every resident gets the opportunity to write down everything they've done wrong since they've been here, and they didn't get caught for. Because just like Lo Taturu, we don't want you hiding. So think about this. Think about this as parents. Think about this as spouses. All the hiding that you did for the last 6 months, you agreed to write it down. And you agreed not to beat each other up over it. I know that's a tough one, isn't it, Francis? But rather, you find ways to help each other return. You find ways to help each other change. No resident has ever been thrown out for anything they've written on their amnesties. It's an amazing thing that we do here. I was telling somebody at another treatment program, and they said, "You do what?" I said, "I'd rather have the people not hide." Because when you don't hide, and you learn that it's safe to tell the truth, then you learn how to have relationships, marriages, children, and you really learn how to love. Sanctuary. We build it, and it'll never be perfect. You can't get it right all the time, Lucy. You It's impossible. What you can do and what you must do in order to really make this a sanctuary, your home, your space, this place, is when we mess up, say, oops, I made a mistake. Those 5 words are the 5 words of tshuva. Because in the Torah it says that we're going to defile the place, we're going to defile the land, we're going to do all this terrible stuff. All we have to do is do tshuva. And we're immediately accepted back. So if God accepts us, we can accept ourselves. If God accepts us, I can accept you back even after you make a mistake. In fact, I accept you better because you made a mistake and told me about it. That's sanctuary. The Torah says, Asuli mikdash. Make for me. Not create. Make. Make for me this mikdash. A space that's elevated. A space that's separated. Elevated in that I'm going to live at a higher self. This is the higher self of tshuva, of imperfection. Separate myself from the lies, from the hiding. And finally, connected. Connected to myself, connected to my loved ones, connected to my community, connected to God. This is the way we create, not create, this is the way we make with our hands, with our spirits, with our love, sanctuary. This year's card, it's yellow. I ask you to agree with me, to commit to build an elevated, separated, and connected place to dwell with God and others. Do you make that commitment?
Yes.
Come on, do you?
Yes.
Give me it one more time.
Yes.
Shana Tova.